My name is Dr. Mbira Gikonyo, and I've partnered with Ponea Health to bring you information in the area of ear, nose, and throat. I'm an ENT surgeon specializing in diseases of the ear, of the nose, and of the throat. So today we are going to talk about snoring. We get very many parents who bring us their children and they complain their child snores like an adult, or the child snores a lot, and the child cannot sleep at night and gets completely obstructed at night. So apart from children, we even get adults. Some women bring their husbands to the office and they say, this man snores so badly, I cannot sleep. I have had to move out of the bedroom. One lady brought her husband and he said when they go to Mombasa on holiday, they book separate hotel rooms, which are 2 or 3 rooms apart, at great expense, because when the man sleeps, the kind of snoring he snores, nobody else can sleep in that particular room. Another time, a young man in his 30s came to see me, and he told me he would wake up in the morning, having snored the whole night, very, very tired. He'd get into his car, on his way to work, when he reaches where there are traffic lights, or policemen have stopped cars due to traffic, he'd fall asleep in the car. People would have to come wake him up. And eventually he had to hire a driver just because of snoring. He would wake up very, very tired. So snoring is a big issue. It's a big issue socially in terms of family life. It's a big issue in terms of health of children. In children, the biggest cause of snoring is due to the growth of a gland or a tissue we call adenoids. Adenoids are tonsils of the nose. They are located at the back of the nose. Everybody has them. But in some children, they become too big and they block the nose from behind. So when the child sleeps, they obstruct the breathing completely. And for the child to breathe, they have to force air in and out. And when they do that, the tissues around there vibrate, generating the snoring noise. And that eventually creates a problem, because when it becomes too much, eventually the child ends up with a heart problem or a lung problem, a condition we call cor pulmonale. So if the child is unable to breathe at night, or even wakes up several times unable to breathe, they have to sit up to be able to breathe, then that has to be addressed by taking an X-ray and looking at it. At the same time, there are tonsils of the throat which can also contribute, when they're swollen, to the snoring or to the blockage. And also those adenoids and tonsils, especially adenoids, can also block the ears from the inside. So you find a child who used to talk, who had good language, their speech begins to deteriorate, and they end up with hearing loss. And actually, even in school, they cannot hear the teacher, or they cannot hear the parents, due to that problem of snoring and blockage. In adults, it's very, very interesting because it is largely in the nose. Some of these adults have what we call swollen concha or turbinates. So the shelves of the nose are swollen. They fill the whole nose. Others have a growth in the nose, which we call polyps. And this blocks the nose. So at night when the person is sleeping, air has to be forced into the nose and out of the nose. And this creates vibrations in what we call the soft palate in the mouth, around the tonsil region, and they end up snoring tremendously. Some cannot sleep with the mouth closed because otherwise they cannot breathe. They are totally blocked. And this creates a noise for the spouse. It creates tiredness in the person because they've struggled the whole night. We call it the work of breathing. Breathing becomes a job. They wake up feeling so tired, they imagine they were digging a shamba the whole night. So this affects their performance in the office. They come to the office by 10 or 11, they are sleepy. Lunchtime, they eat lunch, they fall asleep. If they go to a meeting, they doze off. So it affects their performance, and even sometimes their appraisal. If they're working for a corporate body, they'll see this fellow is always asleep. So it affects their lives. So in such cases, we normally investigate. We find out what is wrong with the person. We take X-rays, we take CT scans, we examine the nose. And if it's a child with something like adenoid hypertrophy and is not responding to medications, there's a minor operation called adenoidectomy which is done. The beauty of modern surgery is that we don't have to cut you anywhere to be able to operate on you. We try and go through the normal, natural openings. If it's in the nose, we go through the nostrils. That way you have no cut on your face. If it's in the mouth, we can go through. We just open your mouth and do the operation in the mouth. If it's behind your nose, we can go through the mouth to the back of your nose. So we actually operate on you without you leaving any scars. Nobody will know anything was done. And if it's a child, within an hour or two, it's done. The operation itself is 30 minutes. In 2 hours, the child is outside playing football. Nobody even knows they underwent an operation. So it's a fun kind of operation in that the child has no cuts, has no stitches, has no pain. For the adenoids, they usually are painless. So it is a good kind of operation. For adults, it's a bit more complex because obviously they can be big individuals. Their nose requires more work. So the operation may take an hour or longer. And normally in an adult, if you trim or reduce the terminates, sometimes you have to block their nose for a day or two within the hospital. But in a day or two, they're able to leave the hospital. And many come back and the wives come and tell us, this guy no longer snores. And it's a beautiful thing. There was once a young man who had been trying to get married for many, many years, in his 20s, in his 30s, but nobody would marry him because the guy would snore like an old, generator with an engine knock. We operated on him, the snoring disappeared, he got married, he got children, and he's happy. So snoring is an issue which needs to be addressed. Over and above that, snoring can create other health problems. In children, it will create a heart problem and a lung problem. In adults, it will create high blood pressure. It can cause stroke. It can cause, poor performance in terms of work, even in terms of school. So it's something which needs to be addressed so that it doesn't end up harming the person's quality of life or even their overall health, especially that of the heart. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us for this discussion. You can book our services at ponea.com, and we look forward to welcoming you another time for another discussion. Thank you very much.